So, whatever we have covered so far till our last session, that was part of your actual core business analysis work. Now, from this session onwards, we are going to touch base with the advanced, what I would say, um, technologies that are associated with business analysis and some of the advanced concepts that are relevant to the business analysis work. So starting from today's session, whatever 8 to 9 session that we would be having, that would be focused on the practicality of the business analysis work at an advanced level. So we'll start the session with robotic process automation, which is the agenda for today's session, wherein we would understand what is robotic process automation. We would see a robotic process automation business case. We would understand how to implement a robotic process automation. What are the usage of robotic process automation? What are the available RPA tools that are existing in the current market? And the benefits and myth around robotic process automation. Now, when I say robotic process automation, what comes into your mind? What sort of automation it could be?
A system having your decision making capabilities and making real time decisions in order to maybe replace human resources.
Yes, absolutely. So, decision making capabilities are different aspect wherein we would have to touch base with lots of information. We need to have millions of data in order to analyze the system in terms of understanding how the behavior of user have been so far in the last 5 years or last 10 years. Basis on that, we would find some of the areas wherein we could implement robotic process automation. Now, of course, it would be using decision making and machine learning extensively when we say we are doing a robotic process automation, but it is not true in every case. There are systems wherein we would be implementing robotic process automation in an altogether different perspective. So yes, one area is through decision making capabilities. The other areas could be through machine learning, artificial intelligence, via chatbots. So these are also some of the areas wherein we could implement robotic process automation. Now, when I say robotic process automation, it has its roots in business process modeling. So business process modeling was something that we used to practice a decade ago, and today also we heavily create business processes in our respective business documentation. Now, why do we need robotic process automation at the first place? What could be the situation that lead to robotic process automation? Now, when we model business process, when we study a particular business process for a pertaining system or for a pertaining business or for a pertaining company, there are essentially two sorts of processes that we come across. One is the manual process, and second are the repetitive process under the manual process that we study. Now, these processes that we identify, let's say we have an insurance system and we are intending to implement robotic process automation in that particular insurance system. So, what we would do as a business analyst, we would thoroughly understand that particular system end to end. End to end, when I say right from the users who are interacting with the system, what are the events that are happening in that particular system, what are the interactions that are happening in that particular system, what are the activities that are happening in that particular system, and towards the end we would understand who is initiating this activity and what is the final outcome of that particular process, like we did in a business process modeling stuff as a business analyst. Now, why do we need robotic process automation here is, we see when we start analyzing those processes within a particular system, in our case the insurance system, we tend to see some of the processes which are repetitive in nature. That means the process happens very frequently. Probably the occurrence of that particular process is on a daily basis, is on a weekly basis, is on a monthly basis, or it may be on a quarterly basis. Now, these are the repetitive processes wherein all these steps within those processes, step 1, 2, 3, n, are same every time we execute that particular process. Now, when we see such process which are repetitive in nature, those process are eligible for your robotic process automation, wherein we would create an automation of that particular process. We would create a robot of that particular persona who would actually initiate that particular process. For example, if I want if I see that agent is doing the same work again and again in an insurance system, he is collecting user information, the system is calculating that particular rates basis on the user inputs that have been provided by the agent, and then they are generating a code for it. Now, this is a process wherein we could apply automation, but there are certain considerations that we need to make. We need to enforce certain business rules wherein when we feel that the robot is unable to make some decisions. For example, if we pull a motor violation report of a particular person during the robotic process automation, we see that the violation count is more than 2. In that context, he is ineligible for that particular policy. So what the system would do, or the robot who is impersonating the agent user role, he would refer that policy to the underwriter, and thereon all the process would be manual. So we need to create those checkpoints within the robotic processes wherein uh, whenever a manual intervention is needed, the system should be able to handle it. The system should support those processes to be executed manually thereon. So essentially, there could be three types of processes in a particular system. One process is end-to-end automated, wherein no human intervention is needed. The second process is the it would be a combination of both intervention and automation. First, it would start with automation, and basis on the business rule that trigger that particular event, thereon it would go to a manual side. And then there are processes which are completely manual in nature, which cannot be automated. Now, as I said, the processes which are repetitive in nature, we would automate those processes. Those are the eligible items wherein we could automate the processes. Now, the processes wherein we see every time there is a new perspective coming in, like the decisions that the underwriter makes. So, basis on every policyholder's information, the decisions are made. So, here automation is not possible at this point of time, but after several years, when we configure the rule engine accordingly for that particular decisions, then we should be able to handle those decisions with robotic process automation as well. But for time being, not everything can be automated. So whenever we see uh, wherein the processes are repeated in nature, or the processes are repeating continuously, we can say that this particular process can be automated. Now, a very good way of automating a particular process is via chatbot. Now, chatbot has the capability which acts as like an your human customer service representative, who essentially deals with all your general queries. For example, when I call up a customer care number, let's say I'm an insurance policy holder and I call up a customer care number and I ask them what is the expiry date of my particular policy. So what the customer care representative does, he logs in into his system, he asks you the policy number, and then he checks your details, and depending on that, he tells you what is the expiry date of your policy. Now, throughout this particular manual process, we see there is a minimum time frame of 2 minutes that is needed for that particular customer care to check into that particular system, then search for your policy number, and then give you the information that you are needing. That is the expiry date of your policy. So it minimum took 2 minutes to complete. Now imagine a scenario wherein a chatbot is doing this thing. What the chatbot would do, they would ask you the policy information, you just type in the policy information and the chatbot would give you a response that this is the expiry date of your policy. For that matter, any xyz information that you would like to ask to the customer service representative, you can directly ask the chatbot, which is nothing but a chat application which has the capability of automation. So this way, there would be thousands of processes in your system which should be automated in a given context. So it is not only applicable for insurance industry. Any domain you say, you can implement robotic process automation, provided these processes are repetitive in nature. Now, if we understand robotic process automation, it allows organization to automate tasks just like human beings. So you would feel like you are actually interacting with a human being, depending on the response that you are getting from that particular chatbot. So it would give you a feel that a human being is interacting with you via a chat window. But essentially, they are not human being. They are the process automation which are configured in such a way that they interact with you without any additional help needed by the other human resources available in that particular system. Now, it can be used to automate any workflow, infrastructure, back office processes, which are labor intensive, wherein you need many human resources. These software bots can interact with an in-house application, websites, user portal, etc. So RPA is nothing but a software program, and it is a sequence of commands which are executed by bots under some defined set of business rules. Now, like we use business process models to make decision in decision as in that diamond symbol that we saw, wherein we make a decision yes or no. Basis on that, the next question would be triggered by the bot. If it is a no, he would ask you another question. If it's a yes, he would ask you another question, and then the process would continue, or the decision making would be continued until you get what you are expecting out of that particular system. So essentially, it's business process modeling, but to a different level, wherein the processes are automated to interact with you. Now, the goal of robotic process automation is to replace repetitive and boring clerical tasks performed by humans. Like I said, whichever tasks are repetitive in nature, whichever process are repetitive in nature, occurs very frequently, those processes are the first processes which would be transformed into a robotic process automation. And it does not require development or code, nor it require any direct access to the code or database of the application. So if you see, um, again, it depends on the context. In most of the cases, they do not interact with the database, like when we ask a customer service representative some generic queries. So there is no need to have a connection to the database. They can just search on the UI and can give you the answers. For example, if we are asking something about the policy in a particular banking system, like what is the interest charge for a particular credit card, how the interests are calculated. So these information are stored in some links on a particular website. Or how should I open a savings account? So these are again stored in the form of links in a particular website. So therein no database connection is needed. We can directly configure robot in such a way that if someone is asking generic query, just reply them with this particular link. Then there are robots which interacts with the database. Like the example I gave you, the policy number, it would search the policy number in the database, and whatever information is asked pertaining to that policy number, it would give you a response basis on your query, what you have asked to that robot. So there is a two options that are available when you are doing the robotic process automation. Now, why do we need robotic process automation? Because the business climate is ever changing. So ultimately, why we are doing this? So imagine a scenario wherein we have a operation team of around 50 customer service representative who are burning around 8 hours a day responding to this basic business queries or basic end users query. Now if we automate these particular processes, then those efforts could be saved, and we would be having only one or two customer service representative who would do some of the manual activities, and rest all general queries could be handled via robots itself. So if you see it in that context, you would essentially save a lot for a particular company. For example, a company made changes in a sales process such that a mandatory 50% advance is required to confirm the booking of this product, but it is not coded in the IT system yet. So a human worker will have to manually check the invoice and payment details and process the sales order only if 50% advance is made. So these are some of the business rules. So 50% advance is made. Here they are checking a particular business rule. So in this particular circumstances, we are well aware about the business rule that only if 50% advance is made, then only we can confirm the booking of this product. So if a person is coming to that particular bot and asking what is the status of my order, and the bot is saying the status of order is unconfirmed, then he might ask the next question why the order is not confirmed. So what the bot will do, he would check the system around the business rule, and they would say that 50% of advances not made, hence your order is unconfirmed. So he got the response what he was looking for, what was his initial query. So this way we need to understand certain circumstances, certain decisions that has to be made by the system, and depending on that we can configure the query in such a way that the human who is interacting with that particular bot is convinced enough to accept that answer. Now, when we reply to a particular human, let's say I'm interacting with a particular bot. So the answer that bot is giving to me, it has to be structured in such a way that it feels like a particular customer service representative is interacting with you as a human. So it should have a formal language, formal tone. For example, hello, welcome to this particular XYZ website, how may I help you? So it should include such keywords or such words which feels the user like they are interacting with an actual human. So that is the beauty of robotic process automation, wherein they make you feel that they are interacting with a particular bot. Now if you see in today's scenario, we are I mean chatbot is one particular situation wherein we use robotic process automation. There is something also called as AI bot, artificial intelligence bot, wherein you are interacting directly with a person over a call, as in, let's say there is a functionality in a particular website. Okay, call this particular number, and the customer service representative will have a video chat with you. Now, what these people do, they record certain segments with a human voice. For example, how may I help you? Now, whenever you interact with that particular human being, he would come in front of you in that particular call and he would repeat those statements. So, what we would feel that this particular person is interacting with me. So, that is something called as AI bot, which is the next level of chatbot, wherein you would feel like an actual human being is talking to you. Because um, the- how an actual human being would talk, those what I would say, those sentences or those messages are pre-coded into that particular system with a recording of that particular human being. So the human being would say those words, and his lips movement, his interaction would be recorded, and we would feel like we are actually interacting with that particular human being. In India, there are many applications which are available in today's landscape, which is powered by AI bot, wherein you feel like this person is actually interacting with me. For example, a common case would be a movie promotion, wherein an actor come to that particular application, and there is a feature that you call that particular actor and ask that particular queries that you might have. So the system has been configured in such a way that all the common queries that people might ask is already configured in the voice of that particular actor. So you would feel that actor is actually interacting with you, but it is not the case. It's the AI bot which they have created. Then comes why robotic process automation is needed and what are the actual problems. So human are the actual problems wherein we need robotic process automation. Now imagine a scenario wherein humans, like I gave you an example, that 50 customer service representative are interacting with end customer on day-to-day basis. Now shouldn't there be a possibility that this humans would commit, make some error during their interaction? Yes, there is a fair possibility. But what is the possibility that a robot would make an uh, error or mistake? There is no such possibility, because we have already configured robot in such a way that there is no possibility of error, because the things are not being done manually, they are automated. So that is the one of the key benefit when it comes to implementing robotic process automation over humans. So human commit mistake, robots do not commit mistake. They essentially do whatever is programmed to them. Anything you ask them beyond that, they won't be able to answer. But whatever you ask within the scope, they should be able to answer you without any mistake, which is not the case when you are interacting with a particular human being. Now, the solution is robotic process automation. With robotic process automation, the company can deploy virtual workers who mimic human workers. In case of a change in the process, a change in few lines of software code is always faster and cheaper than retraining hundreds of employees. So if there is some sort of process change in place, let's say step 3 would come now on step 7. Now, if you have to communicate this thing to a staff of 50 customer service representative, you have to actually train them. But when you do the same thing via a robot, you need not to train them. You would directly go and code into the system that step 3 would now be step 7, and everything is sorted out. The system would handle it itself. Now, here are some of the reasons why robotic process is advantageous. A human can work average 8 hours a day, whereas robots can work 24 hours without any tiredness. The average productivity of human is 60% with few errors as compared to robots' productivity, which is 100% without any errors. So robot handle multiple tasks very well compared to a human being. So this is also a situation wherein robots can work round the clock. So even though you are sleeping, the robot is actually working for you basis on whatever you have configured in that particular automation. Now, if you see this particular diagram, wherein we have a rapidly changing business process to compete, then we have humans who are used to fill gap between the systems and the processes. And here are multiple disparate IT systems that can't evolve at the speed of business. So here we have the technology, your custom, mainframe, ERP, SaaS. Here we have the products, customers, sales, marketing, the processes, and here we have the people, the humans who are actually filling the gap between the organization and the technical side. So people are actually interacting with the processes with the help of technology. Now, if you see, there is a technical debt associated with it, and there is an organizational debt associated with it. Now, what is the meaning of technical debt? Any answers or suggestion?
Any like kind of cost associated with the maintaining the technology, or any maintenance or related costs related to it?
Yes, we just discussed an example around it. If there is a change in process, when we change a particular process or modify the steps of a particular process, there is a rework associated with it. So that would arise a technical debt. Then there is organizational debt, wherein we have to train the people around the processes that has been changed. So technical side, the code would be changed, and the process side, we need to train the people. So humans until now are able to fill this gap between the processes and technologies by interacting simultaneously with both of these things. Now, what happened next? Now, here we have products, customers, sales, and marketing, the processes. And here we have the customized code, mainframe, ERP, SaaS, whatever technology it may be. And here we have our digital workforce, and then we have our human workforce. So digital workforce essentially does the same thing, and human workforce do the things which are very manual in nature. So if you see the sales, marketing, the ERP and SaaS application which are connected to the sales and marketing process, these are something very manual in nature. So human workforce are doing these things. And here, if you have to handle a particular product or a particular customer's process, then a digital workforce can be enforced here, which reduces the actual human effort which was completely filled by the humans earlier. So what we essentially did, we divided this human workforce into two workforce: the digital workforce, the robots, and the human workforce who would handle the manual tasks. So whatever automation would be there, it would be handled by digital workforce. That would increase the efficiency of that particular system while reducing the chances of errors. So this was the scenario a decade ago, and this is the scenario now. And eventually, this human workforce would be eliminated completely by digital workforce at a later point of time, probably in next 5 years or 10 years. So that is the reason why companies are heavily investing in robotic process automation these days. If you consider my company, they are investing. In fact, they have built a separate capability group wherein they are dealing with robotic process automation in context of insurance domain. They would handle all the insurance business processes via robotic process automation, and they are doing really well. And we have got full-fledged customer who are interested in robotic process automation, and they have actually initiated that particular process. Particular project. Next is a business case. So this is a business case wherein we would see a flow chart. If you see this particular flow chart, you see that supplier sends invoice via email. Then the invoice is received and printed. After that, the barcode is scanned in that particular document. Once it is printed, we scan that particular barcode and we create a work item. After that, we enter the purchase order to retrieve invoices of that particular invoice which we received via email. When we enter the purchase order of that particular invoice, we see the supplier name is correct or not. We are doing a decision over here. Now, when we check the supplier name is correct or not, there could be two possibilities. Either the name would be correct or either the name won't be correct. Now, when we check the supplier name is correct, we enter the invoice number, date and amount. Then we match the purchase order and the invoice. After that, we check whether the amount is matching against what the supplier has sent to us. Now, this is an invoice within this system boundary, and this is the invoice the supplier sends to us. We have to match both the invoices. If there is a match, there is two possibility. Either there would be a match or there won't be a match. If there is a match, we match the invoice, we calculate the tax, we complete the invoice process, and we close the work item. Now, what if the case the supplier name is incorrect? So what we would do, we would hold that order and we would pass to the exception team, wherein all the exception would be handled. Now, this is where your manual process triggers. If the invoice name is not correct, that would be handled via manual process. Now, what if the amount is not correct? If the amount is not correct, we would hold that order and we would follow up with the vendor. And what we would do next, when we hold that particular order, while following up, the supplier would accept or resend that particular invoice. Once he resends that particular invoice, we would again match the purchase order and invoice and again recheck if there is a match. So this process would be repeated until and unless we don't get an invoice which is matching both the product order and the invoice. Now, this is a simple process wherein we saw a particular process flow. Now, we need to identify which are the processes wherein we can implement robotic process automation basis on this particular workflow or the business process flow. Open invoice email from the supplier and print it for records. This can be automated. This can be very well automated, wherein a bot opens an email and it checks for the invoice and it prints it. Barcode scanning. Now, barcode scanning is something that involves a hardware device wherein we have to scan the barcode for that particular invoice. So here we cannot implement automation. So this thing has to be done manually. Then create work item in a legacy software system. Yes, this can be automated. Enter purchase order to retrieve invoices. Yes, this can be automated. Check supplier name is correct or not. Yes, this can be automated. Enter invoice data and amount. Again, this can be automated. Do a comparison between the purchase order and invoice. Yes, this can be automated. Check if amount is matching or not. Again, it involves decision. This can be automated. If amount matches invoice, calculate tax. A tax rule would be configured in the system basis on the country and region the company is doing business. Again, this can be automated basis on the tax rates that are configured in the rule engine. Then complete invoice processing. Yes, this can be automated. Work item close. If amount, again a decision. Supplier accepts or resends invoice. The process of resending the invoice. If supplier name is correct or not. Holding the status of that particular work item. Or flag for exception handling. These all are something that can be, automated. Now, if you see over here, only item that cannot be automated is the barcode scanning. Why? Because a person has to manually do that scanning of the barcode. It cannot be handled by the system because it involves a hardware device. So these are some of the consideration that you have to consider when you are identifying out of this particular process flow or the workflow what all things can be automated and what all things cannot be automated when you are actually studying a process flow or doing a business process reengineering activity around robotic process automation. So you have to come to each step, each decision, and understand whether it can be automated or not. If it cannot be automated, then why it cannot be automated? Are there any alternative? The last step is to handle it manually. Else, your constant effort should be in the side wherein you have to automate the end-to-end system. Now, it may sound very similar, robotic process automation and test automation, because to a QA person, he may feel that robotic process automation and test automation essentially or more or less are related to each other, but they differ in different aspects. So if you check the goal, test automation talks about reducing test execution time through automation, whereas the goal of robotic process automation is to reduce headcount through automation. Here, it the goal is to reduce the test execution time, but here we need to reduce the headcount. We are replacing humans over here. The task here is to automate repetitive test case. Here we are automating repetitive business processes. Here, coding knowledge required to create test scripts. Here, the automations are created through wizards, which are offered by different software tools. Here, if you consider the technical approach, it supports limited software environment. Example, Selenium can support only web application. So if you consider a tool like Selenium, it cannot be used for devices, mobile devices, which are powered by Android or iOS. It only supports the web application. So we cannot automate the mobile device or the any other platform over there. Now here it supports various software environments. So if you create a chatbot, even though you open that particular website on a mobile window or mobile screen, the chatbot should work similarly. There is no limitation around, it is only for web application. Here test cases are automated. Here data entry, form, loan processing or any XYZ processes are automated. Now, if you consider its application, test automation can be run on QA production performance UAT environment. But robotic process automation is usually configured to run on production environment. Okay, it is directly rolled out in production environment. Then again, I wouldn't say this statement is completely true. If your project is completely driven by robots, then it has to go through formal rounds of testing before that particular automation is rolled out into the production environment. But in most of the cases, the RPAs are rolled out directly in production environment. Now, when it comes to implementation, it can automate a product Now here it can automate both a product as well as a service. Both things can be automated. Now here users are limited to technical users. Here even the stakeholders can create the automation. There is no coding knowledge involved when it comes to robotic process automation. Now next part is how do we go about implementing robotic process automation. So before implementing robotic process automation, we need to first do a planning of the robotic process automation. Now what should we do in this planning phase? Here we need to identify process which we want to automate. So this is the checklist around identifying the processes which would be automated. The first question that we ask is the process manual or repetitive? So we need to first have a bifurcation between the manual processes and the repetitive processes. After that, we need to identify is the process rule based. Rule based as in if the loan application is below 150,000, then the application would be automatically approved. If the loan application would be more than 150,000, then the application of that particular loan requester would be sent to underwriter for approval. So that is a business rule. So we need to understand within those bifurcation how many processes comes has a associated business rule with it. Now depending on that particular business rule, we have to again take a call whether to categorize it as manual process or repetitive process, which is ideally eligible for your robotic process automation. Then we need to understand is the input data is in electronic format and is readable. Just the example which we saw in that particular barcode scanning, is the information is electronic format. Now barcode is something that can be scanned over a physical copy of a particular document. It cannot be scanned on a particular electronic format. We can scan some of the barcode, like if we are using WhatsApp for web, then we scan that barcode via our cell phone. There are certain applications, but that doesn't hold true in every situation, every context. So it is just one user account wherein we are scanning the barcode in the case of WhatsApp. But if it is a loan processing application, it's a sales application, there would be millions of orders, invoices that would be coming into that particular application. So we cannot hold a device and scan directly on that particular system. There are fair chances of errors. Now even if we succeed to scan, what is the next course of action? How do it interact with the next subsequent step in that particular robotic process? So that is not feasible. So we need to ensure that the nature of information is consistent in nature. For example, if it is in electronic format, then all the information has to be in electronic format. Nothing that should interface with the external hardware. Then can existing system be used as it is with no change? Then this is also a possible question that we need to ask before deciding on whether to go with robotic process automation is, can existing system be used as it is? Why there is a need of change? If we do this change, how much effort it would save or how much cost it would save? So we need to do a cost benefit analysis around it, that if we automate this particular process, how much amount we should be able to save. Now once we have answered all this question, the next step is planning the phases. So here we would set up the project team, finalize implementation timeline and approach, agree on solution designing for performing robotic processes automation, identify logging mechanism that should be implemented to find issues and running bots, and clear roadmap should be defined to scale up robotic process automation. So these are ultimately the goals that you need to address before planning the phases of your robotic process automation tools. So in general situation, robotic process automation are faster in nature. So if let's say a scratch development would take you a minimum 1 year to deliver that particular software system, the robotic process automation would projects can be delivered within 3 to 4 months. So that is a experience that I am having in my company, wherein the robotic process automation projects have been delivered to a minimum within 4 to 5 months. So that is the cycle of that particular project, because the development is really fast, and considering the fact that no coding knowledge is required, anyone can actually code this system. Even a business analyst can actually build the business processes and get the desired result he is intending to out of that particular bot. The next is your development phase, wherein you start developing the automation workflows as per the agreed plan. So whatever plan you have agreed, basis on that plan, you start developing the automation. So it is essentially a wizard driven, and the implementation is really, really quick. Then you start testing out the phase, wherein you run test cycles for in-scope automation to identify the correct defects if there are any. And then you support and maintenance. So the maintenance cost is very low for robotic process automation project, because ultimately that do not involve too much of coding, because mostly the robotic process automation engagements are done with the help of some of the tools that are available in the market. So maintenance and support cost is very low when it comes to RPA projects. After we have done all this thing, we have planned out the phase, we need to identify some of the best practices for robotic process implementation. Now, one should consider business impact before opting for robotic process automation. We need to understand how the business is impacted and what are the return of investment around this particular robotic process automation that we are building in and around those processes. After that, we need to focus on targeting larger groups and automating large impactful processes. Then we combine attended and unattended robotic process automation. Now, what's the meaning of attended and unattended robotic process automation? Now, there could be a situation wherein you deploy 50 robots. Now, out of those 50 robots, you identify the scenario from a perspective of a system, that these are the processes which are repetitive in nature. Now we need to calculate how many processes are actually being used by the humans or the end customer. So we need to understand in that particular context how many bots are attended, that means who has interacted with actual human being or the end customer, and how many bots are unattended, wherein no human have shown interest in that particular bot. So depending on that, we would reconfigure that particular bot so that humans start interacting with that particular bots. So we can have the summary of the interaction as well, on what date, what time, who interacted with that particular bot. So we get the summary of the report, summary in the form of report, wherein we identify how many bots are attended and how many bots are unattended. Then we need to understand the poor designing change management can wreak havoc. We need to take mitigating actions against it if this risk happen. Then we shouldn't forget the impact on people, how the people would be interacting. And the governance of the project is the most important thing, wherein we need to understand the policy, corporate government compliance are ensured. So these are some of the scenarios wherein we could use robotic process automation. The first thing is emulate human action, wherein human execution of the repetitive process using various application and system. Then we conduct high volume repetitive tasks, wherein robotic process automation can easily simulate rekeying of data from one system to another. Then we can also perform multiple tasks. We can do a virtual system integration. We can do automated report generation via robots. We can do information validation and auditing. We can do technical debt management. We can do product management, quality assurance, data migration, gap solutions, revenue forecasting, all via robotic process automation. So depending on the situation, we have to configure our robot in such a way that it solves these needs or the general usage of the robotic process automation tools. So these are some of the application of robotic process automation. For example, if you consider the healthcare industry, the patient registration and billing can be handled via robotic process automation. If you consider HR industry, new employee joining formalities, payroll process, then hiring shortlisted candidates can be handled via robotic process automation. If you consider the insurance industry, claims processing and clearance, premium information can be handled via robotic process automation. If you consider manufacture and retail industry, bills of material, calculation of sales can be handled via robotic process automation, because these are the common processes which are repetitive in nature according to these industry. Same case goes for telecom industry, service order management, quality reporting, travel and logistic industry, ticket booking, passenger details, accounting, banking and FS industry, card activation, frauds claim, then discovery can be handled via robotic process automation. For government, change of address, license renewal. For infrastructure, issues processing, account setup and communication can be handled via robotic process automation. So these are some of the common processes which are eligible for robotic process automation according to this industries. Now, what are the available tools that are present in market for robotic process automation? Now, these are some of the available tools that are available to achieve robotic process automation. The Automation Anywhere, Blue Prism, UiPath are the most common tools which are extensively used in robotic process automation. So Automation Anywhere and Blue Prism are chargeable tool. UiPath has a community edition which is available free to practice for the students and for anyone who is intending to learn robotic process automation. However, there are many proprietary tools like WorkFusion, Redwood, Contextor, Skeleton, Pega, IPsoft, Verint, which supports robotic process automation. These are proprietary tools used by respective vendors, and these are the tools which are used by regular public depending on their need and requirements. Now, before selecting a robotic process automation tool, we need to analyze four parameters essentially. First parameter is data. So the data has to be easy when it comes to reading and writing business data into multiple systems. Let's say I am putting information from one system to another. The format of the data should be easily readable and writable. Then the type of task. Now this has to be easily configured based on the rules or based on the processes. Interoperability. So tool should work across multiple applications. Like I said, it shouldn't be only limited to the web application. It should be have support for cross platform usage. Then artificial intelligence. So if there are any AI support to mimic human behavior, then is a good thing to have. So these are the four essential parameters basis on which you would select a RPA tool basis on the list of products that are available with you. Now, what are the benefits and myth of robotic process automation? So if we go by the benefits of robotic process automation, so large number of processes can be easily automated. Now, costs are reduced significantly as the robotic process automation takes care of repetitive tasks and saves precious time and resources. Programming skills are not needed to configure a software robot. Thus, any non-technical staff can set up a bot or even record their steps to automate the process. Then robotic process automation support and allow all regular compliance processes with error-free auditing. The robotic software can rapidly model and deploy the automation process. The defects are tracked for each test case, story, and sprint. Effective, seamless build and release management. So most of this we have already discussed around the benefits of robotic process automation. Then there are certain disadvantages of robotic process automation, like the bot is limited to the speed of the application. Basis on the speed of the application, the bots would behave in that particular what I would say NFRs, the scalability, reliability. It completely depends on the speed of the application. We have no control over only increasing the efficiency of the bot. Since the bot are directly linked to the application, it would directly be based on the speed of the application wherein your bot are hosted. Then even a small change made in the automated automation application will need the robots to be reconfigured. Even if we consider a change in message would need the bot to be reconfigured. So that is some of the disadvantages that a bot have. Now, what are the myths around robotic process automation? Coding is required to use robotic process automation software. Now, if you are using a particular tool wherein your robots are configured via code, then you need to have some coding skills. So this is again a myth. Coding is not required for using a robotic process automation software. So this can be used by anyone. It can be used by business analyst, business stakeholder. It's just process flows that you have to design the messages, and what are the information that you want to exchange. That is it. That is nothing that is needed from the coding side. So this is the myth which is highlighted in orange. Coding is required to use RPA software. This is a myth. This is not true. Coding is not required to use RPA software. Now, RPA software does not require human supervision. Now, again, this is a myth. It does require some human, supervision, because humans are needed to program the RPA bot, feed them tasks for automation and manage them. So we cannot say humans are not needed for supervision. We need some human efforts, not extensive human effort, but some human effort to configure the program and feed the task for automation. Now, only large big companies can afford to deploy robotic process automation. Again, this is a myth. Anyone can deploy chatbots in today's market situation. If you consider, there is nothing that only big companies can afford chatbots or robotic process automation solutions. Now, RPA is useful only in industry that rely heavily on software. Like we saw just now, that any industry can use robotic process automation. It's not just with the industry that use softwares heavily. So these are some of the myths that are there in robotic process automation. So to summarize, this is the understanding. We covered the understanding around robotic process automation. We saw the robotic process automation business case. We understood how to implement robotic process automation. What are the usages of robotic process automation? What is RPA tools? Then what are the benefits and myth of robotic process automation?